If your liver is angry, inflamed, or backed up with fluid, it can't always tell you right away, but your feet will. And in this video, we're going to talk about how your feet are warning you about your liver problems. Because if you have liver problems, like a lot of people do, your feet can tell you that, okay? They can manifest certain symptoms or certain changes that you can see, and then you know you got a problem with your liver. I want to share one symptom with you, okay? That is very unique. Now, if you have this symptom, okay, it doesn't mean you have liver disease, but it could be an indicator that you need to do a little bit more investigation. And that symptom is itching of the bottom of your foot. If you have itching of the bottom of your foot, especially when you go to bed at night, okay, that is a sign that there's a backup of fluid into your liver. Now, why would that be? Well, because the liver filters everything. It's like a big filter. It cleans all the blood coming from your digestive system, your gallbladder, pancreas, stomach, intestines. They all dump into the liver, and the liver is supposed to clean that blood before it goes back to your heart to recirculate through the body. So if the liver becomes impaired, whether it's fatty liver, whether it's inflamed, whether it has scar tissue or fibrosis, whether it has cirrhosis, that means that there's inflammation and now you have portal hypertension. What does that mean? That means there's a backup of pressure, there's a backup of fluid. Now that fluid, instead of just staying inside the liver or other parts of your body, it actually starts leaking out. And where does it leak out to? It leaks out to the bottom of your feet. It's amazing how the liver communicates with the bottom of your feet. You know, Chinese medicine has known this for thousands of years, but Western medicine is just now catching up. Here are some causes of liver problems. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. The biggest cause of this is insulin resistance. So if you have high blood sugars, if you're pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic, or you just have bad carbohydrates, right? All these starches and sugars that creates insulin resistance, and then what happens? You get this backup of glucose in your liver, and it becomes fat. So non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is #1 cause of liver disease worldwide. #2, viral hepatitis. Epstein-Barr virus or other viruses can create an inflammation of the liver. #3 is alcohol. Obviously, if you drink too much alcohol, you're going to have a problem with your liver. And then #4 is genetic problems like hemochromatosis, where you have too much iron. And then you also have other things like alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency, Wilson's disease, where you have too much copper. But the point is, you have all these different things that can create a problem with your liver, and then this backs up and creates problems with your feet. So let me give you some simple things to do to help your liver. Okay? No. One is vitamin D3. This is so important. I would take 10,000 IU every single day. Okay? There's a big controversy about that. All right? #2, choline. Choline is really important. Choline is a nutrient that the liver uses to make bile. Remember, bile helps you digest fat. So if you don't have enough bile, you can end up having a backup of this substance called bilirubin, and that can turn into a condition called jaundice, where you have yellowing of the skin and the whites of your eyes. And so choline is very, very important for the liver. Good food sources of choline are egg yolks, beef, liver, and fish. Now, if you don't consume those on a regular basis, I would just supplement with choline. All right, #3, taurine. Taurine is a substance that helps to reduce the glycation effect. What's that? Well, anytime you combine a protein with a sugar or a fat with a sugar, you can create this sticky situation that clogs things up and it creates damage in the liver, so taurine helps prevent that. And a good source of taurine is red meat, but if you don't consume red meat, I would just supplement with taurine. Okay, #4, L-carnitine. This helps transport fat into the mitochondria to be burned for fuel, and a deficiency of this can create fat accumulation in your liver. So a good source of this is red meat, but again, you can supplement with L-carnitine. #5 is taking a good probiotic. One thing that can happen is that you can have an overgrowth of a type of yeast in your small intestine. It's called Candida, and this can create an irritation to the liver, making it work harder. And this is usually caused by taking antibiotics or eating too many carbs, so a good probiotic can really help your liver. #6, antioxidants. If you're not getting enough antioxidants like vitamin C, vitamin E, curcumin, green tea extract, resveratrol, you're going to have more damage in your liver, So you really need to get on a good antioxidant regimen to protect your liver. Number 7, choline. Now, like I said earlier, choline is very, very important to help you make bile, but it's also involved in transporting fats throughout the body. And another thing that happens if you don't have enough choline is you have a buildup of fat in your liver, which can lead to cirrhosis. All right, next one, betaine hydrochloride. This is an acid that helps you digest proteins. If you don't have enough acid in your stomach, it can create a backup in the liver because it's supposed to be a filter. It's supposed to filter everything out and send the clean blood through the liver, but if you don't have enough acid in your stomach, you can have a backup. So betaine hydrochloride can help. Next one is zinc. Zinc is really, really important for the liver. Zinc helps you detoxify poisons. Zinc helps decrease inflammation. So if you don't have enough zinc, you can have more inflammation in your liver. Good sources of zinc are oysters, clams, and crab meat. All right, next one is magnesium. Magnesium is very, very important to help lower your blood sugars and help increase insulin sensitivity. If you're insulin resistant, you're going to have a problem with your liver. So magnesium is really important to take. Good sources of magnesium are leafy greens and pumpkin seeds. All right, next one is vitamin B1. And you may say, well, why should I take B1? B1 is essential for the conversion of this substance called pyruvate into acetyl-CoA to go into the mitochondria to help you burn fuel. If you don't have enough B1, you can have a buildup of this lactic acid, which can create a problem with the liver, and a good source of B1 is nutritional yeast. All right, next one is phytonutrients. These are the colors in the vegetables that help to protect against carcinogens and poisons in the liver. So the more colors you can eat, the better. Red, blue, purple, orange, yellow, green. The more variety you can get, the better. And last one is fasting. Fasting is very, very important. When you fast, you're giving the liver a chance to rest, to repair, to regenerate new cells, to clean up all the damaged cells. So I would recommend at least 24-hour fast once a week. Now, because of the censoring and the suppressing of the algorithms, it's becoming more difficult to find my content. And there's a lot of content that I cannot put on certain platforms, unfortunately. So to make sure you have full access of all my information, subscribe to my newsletter by clicking the link down below in the description. I will see you on the other side. Now, since we're talking about your feet, there's some amazing things that you should know about your feet that I'm going to put in this video right here. Check it out, like and subscribe for more.